you're not going to get the vaccine because you think you're going to turn into a
First
monkey?
of all,
Like,
bitch,
why?
let me explain you something. I ain't getting that goddamn vaccine. Y'all kiss my ass. That's real. I'm being the motherfucker that can only walk backwards. I ain't doing that shit.
Your feet are going to turn around. I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. So now we're gonna roll this again. So, which is perfect because I didn't do the proper intro. We're still learning here. So, welcome to another episode of the Scratch Track. We are. I have with me here my friend James Rodriguez, former roommate of mine, and we're gonna get into some stuff. But before we do, I want to remind you guys to follow us on Instagram, the Scratch Track Podcast, Facebook, the Scratch Track Podcast, and then Gmail us or email us. Either way, I think it's the same thing. If you want to hear a specific discussion about an album, or you want to get on here as a guest, or you have an idea of who you want to hear on here, or any local musicians or anything like that, just shoot us an email, DM, whatever. We'll be good to go. So thank you guys again for listening. We appreciate it. And so go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and how we met, because I think you tell it better than me.
I don't know if I tell it better, but we worked at the Y.
Yeah.
We worked at the Y. And
the Young Men's Christian Association.
Listen, we don't have to get into what it stands for.
Not a lot of Christian activities going on outside of that, but yeah.
No, and we were the house was literally right around the corner too.
Yeah.
No, we met at the Y, and then
Yeah.
I remember we had, honestly, I think one of the first times we went out drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we met at Kelly and Josh's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that night?
That was that night. We met for the first time.
Had a heavy tongue that night. I was
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
after that, I think we went out drinking again, and my dumbass got too drunk. And you were like,
Yeah.
oh, I have an open room if you need to stay somewhere.
Yeah, that was 4th of July.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh, sure." And then it was like,
And then I was like, hey, a month later, I was like, you want to live
"Yeah,
here?
you want
And you're like,
to live here?
Okay. You want to do this all the time?
Yeah, you want to? We could have so much more room for extra activities."
So much. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like, so a lot of you already know that I lived in South Florida for 4 years when I was pretending to go to college. Wasn't actually going, but I was working, and a couple days a week. It was part-time work, and also playing music and making dog shit money, but still going. And
But it was beautiful music.
yeah,
I'm just saying.
It's all right. I'm uncomfortable by compliments. Don't do that. So I don't remember a time like before we lived together, really. It's kind of blurry. I mean, I do remember, but like I feel like in terms of my music and my life and my outlook on the world, kind of first, I remember having my first like actual concrete thoughts about life and love and music in that house with you, because we had a lot of deep conversations.
Because we
Yeah.
we were real too. Like
Yeah.
the amount of times we'd sit in the living room and just be like, "Yo, like this is this is what's up." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was the great thing about living in that house, is that
Yeah.
we were just two real straightforward people that like to have females over in parties.
I am fucking terrified, by the way, of what is going to come out of this. I already posted about it. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to be said. Well, I'm sure we'll go back in and edit it at some point, but
the stories
I
for
mean,
days.
Jesus. We'll get into it in a little bit. I haven't started drinking because I am wildly hungover from last night, because every time this motherfucker comes into town, we end up doing tequila shots,
Yes, it's
and
great.
I don't like it. I've
Oh,
said
it's
it
awesome.
so many times.
Okay, but it's
Stop
payback.
It.
It's payback for the amount of times you
It's
absolutely
not-
got me shit-faced,
It is-
blacked out, drunk, and I couldn't walk.
Yeah, but that's fun to watch.
Oh no, it's not fun for
It's
me
very-
to experience. I'm sure it's great for you to watch
for
when
me,
you were
yeah.
a freaking tank and like out
Not
drink
anymore.
everybody on the bar.
I'm not anymore, dude. I will tell you right now that like I reached my peak of drinking probably like a year and a half ago, and now it's on the steady decline. Like I have like 5 or 6 drinks, and I'm like, this is it. But when before I could drink literally all day, and just beer would not affect like. Beer now, I'll have like 3 beers, and I'm like, my tummy hurts. I'm such a fucking bitch with drinking now.
Well, see,
but it used to be so easy. Like when we lived together,
every day.
dude, this guy would hide tequila in like juice concoctions that he would make for me. Like, hey, do you like it? Is it good? I'm like, yeah, it's delicious. And then like 3 more, I'm like, I think it was something horrible.
I warned you ahead of time. There's a lot of alcohol in it. It's
yeah,
not my fault.
Yeah, well,
The warning was given.
I didn't believe it because it
not my
tasted too good.
Oh, it's delicious, always.
I'm gonna turn you up a little bit.
Okay, good.
Just a little, just a touch. All right,
turn
cool.
my
We're live editing here. This is the first episode that we've recorded with Jasmine not in the house. So who knows what we're going to talk about?
Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Amen, brother. Amen,
No,
brother.
no. So another thing that what we used to talk about a lot when we lived together was your love for hip hop and a lot of the stuff that I didn't necessarily know about. So, for example, I was big into like, Eminem and early Kanye back in the day and like 50 Cent, and I would listen to like, the G Unit stuff like The Game and Lloyd Banks and those guys, and
Straight gutter rap.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But that was what was on the radio.
Yeah, of course.
And we didn't know any different because I was unaware of the underground scene that was taking place and these, kids selling mixtapes out of the van. I didn't know that that even existed until you were telling me. He's like, oh, this is...
Let me explain something. All throughout high school, bro, there's a website, and I don't even know if it still is. It was called datpiff.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
I remember Dat
yeah,
Piff.
my best friend that I grew up with, he told me about the website, and I would literally download full mixtapes. That's how I got into Nipsey. I would just download full mixtapes on there,
Wow.
play it on my download the full shit on my iPod,
Yeah.
and then have my headphones in and just... Like, I would just play the mixtape. I hated
Yeah.
it. I delete it. If I loved it, I'd keep it. And we downloaded Nipsey mixtape on accident.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That was the...
That's this turning point. Yeah, we're going to get into talking about Nipsey, Nipsey Hussle's Victory Lap, which was his
Beautiful album.
His last album before he died.
His official only studio album.
Interesting.
So he had signed
not know
to
that.
Epic Records and things like
Yes.
that, and had made a lot of mixtapes. But his official, actual studio album was the Victory Lap, and Grammy nominated studio album.
Oh, yeah,
just
that's right.
to throw that out
he,
there.
he didn't win that year,
I don't
though.
believe he did. I
2018
wish
must have-
it. They don't know how to count properly.
Who won it in 2018?
The vote was rigged.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Recount.
It's apparently a common
Count
thing.
count the votes. Stop
the
the
votes.
count. So we're not going into that. So hopefully by the time this comes out, that's not as fresh of a wound where both sides are like, "You motherfucker, you don't know what you're talking about." I know I don't know what I'm talking about. It's okay.
You guys can't do shit. You missed counts by 2 votes, bitch.
I'm an expert on literally nothing. So
Absolutely nothing.
right, it does. Like if you think I'm wrong and you're gonna get heated about it, you're right to feel that way. But just don't talk to me about
You're
it.
entitled.
I
You're
don't.
entitled to your opinion.
I don't care about you getting mad enough to form an educated opinion. I'm just telling jokes here. We're relaxing, okay? So when we went into I remember a big point of my hip hop education was when Straight Outta Compton came out.
Oh.
And I was like, what is this movie even going to be about? And you're like, you don't know about these guys?
Yeah,
and
I
then
remember
from
we
that
dove
moment I
through
was
there,
like,
yeah.
what the I was like, how do I not know about this?
I actually remember that moment because
sick.
we were literally sitting there
I
and we
love
dove
that.
through the whole thing together.
I even asked my buddy Nick while we were watching the movie together. I was like, "So who is in this group again?" Like before the movie started, and he was like, "You fucking idiot." But after that, like the story of their success
Oh, my
and
God.
their getting jacked around by their manager is still such a prevalent thing in society, and the issues that they were tackling were, like they say that it's art. Art is,
Yeah.
a reflection of what we see in our world. I'm not going to sing about something I don't know about, and that's why I
it's
always
what-
loved about hip hop.
my
is that, like,
reality.
it's
Yeah.
my reality. Yeah,
And that's a beautiful thing in any type of music. Or at least I apologize. If you're,
Yeah.
I respect an artist that turns that into reality. And like
Yeah.
we were talking about this the other day. If your album's going to be a party album, that's fine.
Yeah.
But call it a party album.
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
call it something else.
You're right.
But if you're going to have a work of art and
Yeah.
it reflects your reality, that's the beauty about it.
Right.
Because NWA, that story on its own is just, they were one of the few groups or individuals to really come out of nothing, like Eazy-E selling drugs, and that's that
That's
nobody
what
wants
financed
to,
the
yeah,
album.
that's what financed the whole
yeah.
thing.
He was like, I got some dope money.
Yeah,
laying
exactly.
around. It's like, okay, let's get in
I
the
don't really,
studio.
I don't really want to rap, but if
Yeah.
I got some dope money, go ahead.
Yeah, right.
Cube,
'Cause
make it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that was pretty wild too to see the turmoil and the inconsistencies and like the difficult personalities that you deal with in that community. And even though you see guys like this, like I say this all the time about like, big theater rockers, the guys that were wearing makeup with the long hair and like doing all that bullshit, like those guys are still like normal dudes.
Yeah.
They're just putting on like a thing. And the same thing in the hip hop community. Like you see a guy who's like, man, that guy's like, I would never talk to that guy. Like, yeah, but he has the same issues
normal
like
guy, yeah.
personally that you would have. Intruder alert.
He just went through some shit.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah, hey. My goodness.
You interrupting. I just want you to know that.
Oh yeah. Wow. We are definitely cutting this out. So good job, Dixie. Thank you very much. So we have a dog here, and she's on intruder watch, and she's still going. Hey, cut it out.
Oh yeah, yes,
Stop.
girl.
She doesn't like illegals. You know.
How did I get in the house?
Yeah. Well, we don't know. It took her a couple days to warm up.
I know it did.
She knows when a delivery driver is isn't illegal. So
Got to watch out for U.S.
got it. Yeah. So anyway, and here we go. We're getting canceled.
That's fine. I was
So-
going to cancel with style.
Yeah. Going out in a blaze of glory.
Oh, there is. I think there's like a delivery.
Yeah, it's
delivery person.
probably somebody in the fucking neighborhood telling me that I can't do something. Again, putting a piece of paper in there that
Hold
says.
on.
Do you remember? Okay, do you remember our people that said when we lived? So we lived together in 2014, 2015, something like that. I had to. There was a time where I was driving. I was in the line at Taco Bell.
First of all, he's an idiot.
Yeah,
Continue, have
in the
fun.
line at Taco Bell, and I was dicking around with my debit card in the window slot, and I dropped the card into the door, like inside the car, so I could hear it rattling around. And I'm like, we got to get this thing out of my car. Like, this is the only. I don't carry
Well,
cash.
no. First of all, you told me when you first did it, and it
Yeah.
was like at like midnight or something, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna handle it. I'll handle it in the morning.
Yeah.
And then we woke up in the morning.
Woke up in the morning and did it, and took the door off, and he was
Yeah.
like screwing, because I'm not a real man, so I don't know anything about cars. So I was like, can you
You are a real
fix
man.
it with your screwdriver? Yeah. So I'm like, thanks, mister. And he's out there unscrewing shit, and we get a note like the next day that was like, reminder, please don't work on your cars in the driveway. I was like, can you shut the fuck up?
Yeah, no, that
I was
bitch.
like,
That
what is
bitch
your
hated us.
yeah.
Everywhere I've moved in, I just want you to know, I have had every single HOA president has officially hated me. You know, and I don't know why.
It's because you're Puerto Rican.
I think so.
They don't like Puerto
No, it
Ricans.
genuinely boils down to it. And the amount of parties we had in that house, I'm surprised they didn't kick us out earlier. Though.
I'm surprised that we didn't get the police called on us.
We got
for
called
doing
once.
that. Yeah, but you know why they called? Because
Why?
somebody was blocking the fire hydrant. Remember that?
Yeah,
They didn't call because of the noise or because of the drugs.
We had a full band in the living room.
Full on 4-piece rock and
Yes,
roll band in
full
the
band.
fucking living room. And
Why
we're
not?
living in like shared wall.
Oh yeah, it's a townhouse. This
yeah,
isn't a
it's
house. This is
yeah.
a townhouse. So the wall,
So-
I just bang on the other side, and the neighbors on the other side.
And we did this really cool douchey fratty thing where like we kept empty bottles on top of the
Oh,
fridge,
yeah, I
and
still
they
do
were
that.
shaking and then falling off, and just like you just hear bang bang
But
bang.
the amount of times we've been playing
Shattering
music,
in
we
there.
played music in
Oh
that
my
house, and the
God.
bottles have fell off the wall, and we're just like chilling. All of a sudden, we hear, and we're like, oh.
And then somebody that was there comes up to me and like puts his arm around me. He goes, "I just want to let you know, if we're getting arrested tonight, I had a great time. Thanks for everything." I was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "For sure, the cops are getting called." He's like, "We're going to jail." He was like, "There are so many people in this house," and I
Oh, it
was
was
like,
packed.
I could
was packed.
identify 9 to 10 people.
Yeah, it was
there was
fucking
probably
packed.
70 people in that house, and I was like, "How did we get to this?"
Well, no, we packed that house. That was the most. That was the biggest. So we packed that.
was
We
the
packed
worst.
that fucking
That was
house.
the worst because we had all the members
out
of the
of control.
band. All the
Yeah.
members of the band were like, "I'll bring 20 of my friends." I
Oh,
was
of
like,
course.
"Great,
Awesome.
sounds good."
Bro, bring them by.
I'm like,
Well, because we thought.
I get anxiety thinking
Well,
about.
we had
that now.
like 20 or 30 people in the crib before. So we were like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
easy.
going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, we have the outside area, we have the inside.
Mm-hmm,
Everybody, people naturally chill in the kitchen.
It was like, fine.
It's just, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know. Whoopsie. Knock knock. Who is it?
Oh?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but it was fun though. It was, bro, it was
Yeah.
even sad having to leave, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Like just when everything, it was a little,
it was
sad,
tough.
bro,
We'll
but it
get
was beautiful.
we'll get into that in a second for sure. But
still
so
a beautiful
going back to the whole NWA and the Eazy-E thing that we were mentioning. So he's got a really interesting story in terms of corrupt managerial issues and things like that of him just not okay. I was like, that would have been a bummer if Mike wasn't on. Yeah, it's fine. We're figuring it out as we go.
Oh, we got this.
So
We're good. That's what editing's for.
yeah, right. So when I was watching that, I was thinking of how many of these kids now, because I mean, Eazy was what was he, 19, 20?
Oh, Eazy was 19, 20.
Yeah.
Eazy was young. Eazy, Cube,
so-
Dre, they were all
Yeah.
very young. Yeah.
So these kids that are coming out of a shit situation, the first thing that they're gonna do is sign, like Chappelle said.
Yeah.
He's gonna sign.
Well,
he's gonna sign whatever because he's like, oh man, this is gonna be fat.
It was
yeah.
Iceberg Slim's money in the first place.
Yes,
like
Iceberg's
that,
money the whole time.
It was
yeah.
Iceberg's money the whole time. No,
Yeah.
that's real though, because even if you look at Eazy-E's story, it was he's over there doing everything, and he doesn't.
Oh, he was doing everything all right.
Everything
he was doing
under
everything
the earth.
and everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is,
Yeah, I know.
he was, because it's what it boils down to. You make money to make somebody else money.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about him was that he was the only one that didn't have a background in music
at all.
He was the only one. So Ice Cube, Yella,
Dre,
and
Doc,
and
DOC, sorry, all of them had some sort of background in music. Between
what's the other dude's name? I'm blanking. Ren, MC Ren.
MC Ren, yeah.
Yeah, Ren was, and he was there. He was in NWO the longest, right?
Yeah, well, because he stayed in for after, because when you had DOC and you had people like that just came in together.
He was the guy that got his throat crushed
Yep.
or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He talked like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, after, yep.
A legend, mate. Suge Knight may or may not have done something about that.
Bro, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Rest in peace, Suge.
Ain't
He's
do
probably
nothing.
dead by the time this comes out.
Suge ain't doing
I don't know. He's got Floyd Mayweather money in jail, so he probably ain't gonna get touched.
Bro, he was because the reality was Suge was a fucking like bouncer.
He was a fucking hothead.
He was a tank.
He was just like, I'll punch somebody.
Yeah.
For you. Like, all right, dude.
He's like, oh, you need something? Oh, okay, I'm just gonna choke that motherfucker out real quick, and I'll get you what you need.
He's that loud fucking douchebag that contributes nothing. And
hey,
just
listen,
no one's gonna say anything to him.
You know what's even worse? Check this out. You got a loud fucking douchebag that contributes nothing, but yet he makes millions of fucking dollars.
So much money.
Like that's crazy.
So
Like just
much
because he did it. I may not say the right way, but he didn't know a way that worked. Like the right way is inaccurate. But
it's crazy.
Shit worked.
So when they came out, I remember like that was a big part of like my introduction to like hip hop, and then I was diving back into like the East Coast stuff, like Nas and Mobb Deep and what's his name, Mos Def, and the East Coast guys like some Common, things like that, like the New York, Chicago guys.
Well, because East Coast is more. It's. I mean, it's not.
East Coast to me was more cerebral. It was more intuitive.
Like you can literally say an East Coast rapper was like a cerebral assassin, and it would make sense. It would make sense. And then you had your West Coast rap, which in my opinion, you still have your ranges and
it was
what
volatile
it sounds like
out there though.
But that's the thing. It was very, very just rough, very gutter, very just. This is what we're going through.
Yeah.
This is what the streets are at right now, and this is what we're gonna do. And then you had people like Nas who still came from the streets, but just had a different flow to it. You know, Nas had a different. It wasn't as.
Dude, he put out Illmatic at 19. Was he 19?
Yeah, he was 18 or 19, and then what makes it even worse
One of the best hip hop albums.
If you listen to the first track of that album, he's actually saying, "Yo, count me in." Like, when do I start? He's literally actually saying, because he's never recorded an album before. He's literally saying, like, I like, tell me when to start. I don't even know. Like he says on the first, I don't even know how to start this shit, man. On New York State of Mind.
Yeah.
He was actually saying that. He wasn't dicking around. He was his first time ever recording. He had never recorded a day in his life, and he wrote New York State of Mind.
Wow.
And he just fucking laid that bitch out.
Yeah.
And that was nasty.
He's a talent. He's a special talent for sure. He's one of those guys that was like so you like this is going to sound weird to say, but like I'm confused as to how he's still alive, because like I feel like guys that had a vision like him early on in life are dead. Like something happened to them, like they died, they OD'd, or they got shot, or they knew too much. You know.
Well, Nas is one of the few greats that like Nas, Jay, like there's a very few amount of people that really had that heavy impact that actually fortunately lived to tell about it. You know.
Yeah.
And really share their experiences. Like interesting about Jay-Z, just bringing it up. So if I'm not mistaken on this album, I think it is Hustle and Motivate.
Yeah.
He took the Annie track. Nipsey took the Annie track off of Hustle and Motivate at the beginning. And he had to, so Nipsey had to touch base with Jay to ask him if it was okay. What Jay actually did when he made Hard Knock Life is he signed a deal with the producers of Annie that said any hip hop artist after me can use this track. So all you need now is Jay's blessing to use that track, because what he did is pave the way for the people to come behind.
That's kind of cool.
Like no, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all you have to do is have Jay's blessing at this point to be able to use the track, because he said, "I'll take care of it for you."
And his blessing's probably huge with
my God,
these young kids like this.
I was watching an interview and Nipsey got his blessing. Because they were surprised, and I
Damn.
guess Nipsey knew Jay or something like that.
So are you more of an East Coast guy? Were you West Coast? Because like I was introduced to West Coast first, so I think that's what resonated with me, and like I just like that harder, more like aggressive style of it, where it was like more of like not like the acid jazzy.
It's
kind
gangster
of,
rap,
yeah,
like that. Like it's
and then I love G-Funk.
Because
when they took the actual like old funk beats from like from these old artists that are like. I mean, amazing guitar players and artists, and they swing it into like like regulators.
And you know who did that for me too? Anderson. Oh, Anderson does that for me, bro.
He fucks around with some real shit.
He does some, and he does that same G-Funk style. I know that he doesn't have that same style, but the idea.
He plays too, right?
Yeah,
he's a drummer. He's an actual drummer.
He's in there playing the whole time because he started as a he started in his church. That's why you always hear him yell, "Yes, Lord!" Yeah, because he started playing at church. That boy started playing.
I wonder if he was in the service when they said, I'm not gay no more.
I am delivered.
Yeah. I date women. That guy.
That was great.
That shit is fucking hilarious.
Was fucking awesome. But gangster rap, and you don't. The thing is, people say gangster rap, and they think it's something like, oh, I don't want to listen. No, it's not.
It's just
that's what it's just categorized as, and it's categorized as straight from the street point of view. That's the way it's looked at it. Because even East Coast, like Nas gave a street point of view, but his flow is just.
It's different.
It was different. It was poetic. It was gangster rap is still poetic, but it's very in your face. It's very it's hitting you right here.
Yeah. I always have so much respect for those guys that like the young kids that will come from nothing and then all of a sudden they're like bam, and then they handle fame gracefully. Like I feel like a lot of people in the hip hop community don't get enough respect for like handling themselves with what they've in comparison of what they've been dealt. You know what I mean? Like
everybody except for Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah. But I'm saying like a lot of these guys like they get famous overnight and then like they're like, of course they're acting like this.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Oh no,
I was
no,
like, dude, I'm blowing my shit on something so dumb immediately.
Do not give me a large amount of money.
At 21,
I'm fucking it up.
Oh my god, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. I'm buying like flying shoes that don't work,
bro. And that
I don't give a fuck.
That's what I'm saying. So I was. Because
they don't get enough respect for what they don't do, and they get chastised for what
everything they do. Because you give anybody a million something, you're so stupid. You give anybody millions and millions of dollars, bitch. I'm going off. I've been working my ass. Because the thing is, it's kind of like they're you don't realize and they don't focus on the amount of work it took for the artist to get there.
No,
they don't focus on the fact that okay, maybe the artist had one mixtape, but was that artist playing in clubs and things like that to be able to get
into the fucking
at least a following so that way when they dropped the mixtape, they knew people would buy it. Like they don't show that shit. They just show.
I'm not virtue signaling and not being fake when I say this. But because there are definitely some massive pieces of shit in the hip hop community.
Amen.
For sure.
Amen.
But what I'm saying is that a lot of these guys that are wrongly Nipsey is a great example. Because Nipsey's through and through Crip.
Like, Rolling 60s, 100%. Everywhere, any interview he goes, neighborhood Nip, Rolling 60s, just the first thing that.
And this dude has had ties to that in South Central LA in the gang community for his entire life. Like that's all he knows. So everybody, he's like, oh, he's a gangbanger, he's a fucking asshole, he's a murderer. Like, okay, but you gotta understand, like, this is the only thing he's known.
That was a situation and circumstances you grew in.
Yeah, some people that are not named Nipsey Hussle wake up and they're born into a house with 2-car garage, a full fridge, and a drug-free community,
and then just
in a good school zone. Like some people don't have that, and that is why I love hip hop artists that can channel the good out of their horrific situation, socioeconomically, family wise.
He wasn't always like that. So when he first dropped. Like there was, when I first started listening to Nipsey in high school, and then internet wasn't always necessarily as fast as it could be, so you couldn't necessarily Google everything.
Man.
But middle school, high school, you had to figure that.
I'm not going to talk about.
You had to figure that shit out for yourself.
Censored myself. We didn't have incognito mode back in the day. So.
You had to figure. You better hope for the best.
Yeah,
viruses were serious.
There were naked singles in my area.
I have no idea what the issue is. But no, because when he first came out, there was like an article he had just gotten arrested. So actually, even when he signed his he signed his deal with Epic. The only reason he signed his deal with Epic is because he had a warrant out for his. Well, there wasn't a warrant. It wasn't an official warrant, but one of his friends got arrested, and he was directly connected. So he was hiding. He was hiding and hoping he wouldn't get arrested, so he can sign his deal with Epic to pay for his. He signed his deal with Epic, dropped Bullets Ain't Got No Names Volume 2 and 3, if I'm not mistaken, because he had already did Bullets Ain't Got No Names 1.
Okay.
And he signed his deal, fought his case.
Weird.
Did 2 and 3, and then said, I'm going to sell this shit out the trunk of my car.
I'm out. Yeah.
I got what I need.
Now
I ain't making enough money. I'm going to sell this
yeah.
shit out the trunk of my car.
That's pretty crazy, man. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. Like a lot of these guys, some of them are in a situation where they literally cannot get out of, and some of them they channel that energy positively. It's like anything. It's like any situation. I mean, I've not seen it. I don't know it, so I'm not going to speak like I do. But I'm just saying I empathize with. I can empathize with people that are born into a situation where like they don't really know what to do, and there's not really a guideline. There's not a roadmap out there because I mean a lot of the times their parents are. I mean he's third generation, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
Rolling Six. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean. So you wake up and you roll out of that and you're already wearing a blue bandana. Like
100%. Literally rolled right into the 60s, bro.
Yeah, like, here we go.
Yeah, no, he was
happy first birthday.
That's what it was, bro.
Here's your piece. Watch your ass.
Now that you 6, here's your first gun. Hope for the best, bitch. Run in zigzag patterns.
Have a good day at kindergarten. Yeah. So I mean. I always love I love hip hop guys and musicians and athletes and things like that go back to their small towns and they just boost the shit up. Like LeBron gets a lot of flack for being a crybaby on the court, but like that guy's done
beautiful
a shit ton.
Much,
dude. Paid for kids' college education. He's like, don't do what
but
I
people
did.
Don't
and like
people
go
don't
to
realize
school.
it because he does everything local, which is the simple
Right.
idea of
Chappelle,
making it big. And Chappelle's the same way.
the same way. I mean, he's from Ohio. Too.
Ohio, small
Just like
cities.
LeBron,
And he was even. I watched a Chappelle interview. He said the same thing. He said, my father taught me that you always give back to your community.
And all politics are local.
Yeah,
that's what I got from that.
Yeah, he said everything is local, and it's your responsibility to give back to your community. Don't be a piece of shit and just make it big and go move somewhere else like a jackass.
Right. Like, you don't really see Mike doing that. MJ, he's a different guy. He's a different guy. We're not going to get into that.
That nigga
That's
had a child called Blanket. I'm sorry. Just saying. We can't go there right now. We don't have enough time.
Okay, we're probably gonna cut that out, just so we don't beat a dead horse of like who's better, Michael or LeBron? Shut the fuck up.
No, Michael's definitely better.
If you talk to me, right? But what I'm saying is like, it's it's tired speech. It's so exhausting.
It is.
It's like, please stop it. You're not.
But
that to a sports fan.
It's not.
Is
it's nothing.
The worst conversation you can have.
I'm gonna stick to my point of view. You're gonna stick to your point of view.
Yeah.
I love having because me. You know me. I always love having conversations, and I love to see other people's point of view. I'm not trying to discredit you. I love to see where you're like. Because the reality is, if you grew up watching A, B, and C, and X, Y, and Z, that's your point of view. That's your perspective.
Right.
That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You may be wrong, and that's okay.
Yeah. It's all right. Everybody can be wrong
Everybody
sometimes.
can be wrong.
Yeah. So, during 2014, when we lived together, I think that's when the movie came out, wasn't it?
No clue.
2015. Came out in 2015.
Came out 2015? Okay,
Yeah,
you know
pretty
better
sure.
than I do.
Yeah. So it came out in 2015. So that came out before I left.
Yes. Yeah, we went to.
I know who you went to see with the first time. We can talk about that.
No, we don't need to talk about that.
About that
suck
off
my
camera.
ass.
No. It wasn't a lady.
Who was it?
It was a man. Not a one that you were romantically involved with at the time, but
you sure? Who the fuck did I go see with the first time?
We'll talk about it off camera, but I remember exactly who it was.
I know exactly who I went to go see that with. I was invited.
That face, that's the one I was looking for right there in this one. Yeah.
Jesus.
Jesus is right. Somebody needs Jesus.
We may talk about that on camera. Who knows?
No, we can't. We can't. The only thing that which
we always can. Always options.
The only thing on this podcast, as uncensored as it is, we can't mention any specific names, but we can cite situations. I've
already made mistakes. I've already said like 3 names.
Yeah,
it's not my fault.
No, yeah, I don't think you have. But
it's okay.
Okay, so when that movie came out,
Yeah.
I remember that being like a really integral part of my music education because it was a field of music that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Like I'd seen other biopics before. I had seen other music documentaries and live concerts and interviews with people, but I'd never really sat down and listened to I never sat down and listened to it from a hip hop perspective of like watch the rise and not necessarily fall of the group, but just they were so big so fast
and so
that
talented.
there was no way that they were going to keep that up. And
no.
everybody, they knew that.
Yeah.
And that's why they were like constantly like that. But I remember seeing that in a situation where I was like, oh, like I can draw parallels to like rock and roll bands. I was like,
of course.
It's the same.
It's
like,
the same. No,
personalities are the same.
It's the same
It's all-
circle
yeah.
that repeats itself over and over again.
Musicians and entertainers and artists and stuff like that. They're kindred spirits. Everybody has a story of like fuck this guy or like I love this guy. Like we are very like dramatic and psychologically tormented by nature because there's a great quote, and I've said it on this before, is that the artist is told that they are the best thing that's ever happened, and they are told that they suck, and they believe both of the statements. Mm-hmm. So there's so much of that going into it. And in a group like NWA, when you're passing the torch in every song, it's like who's in the same order. It's like who's banging the hardest.
And then that's the thing.
And then it's like it becomes this internal conflict of like, fuck you, I got the better shit.
But that's what was beautiful about it. That's what got them where they were. But at the same time, what got them where they were is, like you said, what took them down. Because
it's like being on a great team and like somebody pushing you harder in practice. Cube was pushing everybody because he was the best.
You got five fucking LeBron Jameses on a basketball squad. Yeah. Someone's gonna get pissed off because they don't get the ball enough.
Yeah, exactly.
It boils down to it. Like you had certain people like Dre. Dre knew his spot. Dre sat behind the keys.
Yeah.
But everybody else,
Dre, stick to producing.
Everybody else wanted to get on, and even that Dre still touched it. But I'm saying everybody wanted to be on set. But Dre knew his part. He stood behind the keys.
And that's the great thing about it too. And like you see this in bands, like the ones that are very in tune with where they're supposed to be and they understand their role and they don't do anything too flashy. Those are the guys that are successful for a long time. Now, in their case, in NWA's case, this should have been an NWA episode, but we'll get into Nipsey more. But
I just ordered an NWA vinyl.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I ordered straight out of Compton. I did. It's not going to be here till after Christmas.
In their in their situation, it was kind of hard to gauge success for them because they weren't actually seeing money.
And they weren't necessarily deemed successful.
No,
they were deemed locally successful because of their tours and everything like that. And they started to get when you drop a song like "Fuck the Police," like you know what I mean. You start popping up on people's radars
in a bad way. Yeah.
But I think what made them so successful is again that nobody has done it like this before, nor has anybody done it like that since.
Yeah,
you know,
very true.
And I think that's because. In the moment, NWA was very West Coast, but it was like after the breakup, after all everything that happened, you kind of had to go back to the roots because after that breakup, you had look at it, you had Eazy-E coming out single by himself, you had Dre coming out by himself, you had Cube coming out by himself, and then behind that you had Pac and Snoop coming behind him.
Yeah.
So it's like you had these juggernauts out of the West Coast, and what in my opinion at least, and I could be wrong, but when you see all these motherfuckers coming out the West, where did they start?
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden you get this little you climb down the ladder and you have NWA.
Right. It's very incestual in a sense of like they all came from the same thing. And that's what's great about Dr. Dre is that like he was always like the best talent scout. Like he just knew because he was so fucking good.
Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine, that's a whole like when you talk about
when
you talk about the big kahunas in the hip hop game, you have Rockefeller, you have Dre and Jimmy Iovine and what they've done together. Like you have these like
Jay-Z.
Like three. Well, that falls under
that ladder.
That falls into everything that falls into rock and what goes underneath that because you look at Dre and Jimmy Iovine, that includes M, that includes Fifth, that includes. It's like this huge tree that you don't realize because this one person. all of this was able to scatter out.
Yeah, and that's what I also love about the hip hop community is that like they like especially on this record too. Like there's a lot of guests on here, and a lot of people that are not necessarily well known, but like Nipsey, he's the guy that just like wants to work with people because they love what they do.
Hey, that's the thing.
He's not going for like the most popular people to feature. Like, all right, this is gonna make it on the radio. He's like, I want you on this because you're gonna bring something to the song, into the story.
He has YG on there. Okay, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Puff Daddy.
But Puff Daddy
was like, did he produce
so
that track?
Interesting
or did
enough,
he actually rap on that? Because like I can't tell when I listened to it. I was like, I don't know if this
you
is
heard
his
Nas.
voice or not.
You heard Nas Hate Me Now.
Yes.
You hate me. So that is actually the look that he was going for with Puff's song. It was that hard, like he wanted Puff to set him up with an alley-oop, like he set up Nas. In that sense, it didn't. Now the song came out beautiful. It just didn't come out how he wanted it. But what ended up happening, interestingly enough, is Puff was in the studio with him, and Nipsey was like, "Bro, I want you to listen to something real quick, and tell me what you think," because he was going for "Hate Me Now" with, I think it was Young Niggas? What was the song that Puff was on with?
It's
Yeah. So he was going for that with that "Hate Me Now," that hard right, and it just didn't line up. Puff said, "I wanted to be on this song with you," kind of referencing like you, that new young nigga that coming out on the block.
Yeah.
And then, but what he did was he let Puff listen to rap niggas, and Puff said, "Nah, man, that's Hate Me Now."
Yeah.
He said that's the song. He goes, if you want to Hate Me Now on your album, he goes, turn up the volume on that album and come in fucking hard.
Wow.
Because I guess I don't know what it sounded like, but when they were doing, Nipsey was doing the interview, he was like, Rap Niggas did not sound like it did. It was still the vocals were there, but how hard it hit, blah, like how it came in.
Yeah.
He goes, Puff said. Puff didn't do it, but Puff said you should do this, and if you do this, you can have a Hate Me Now on your album, and that's
crazy.
That's what the genius of one person making a suggestion.
Oh yeah, and like you got those guys with just really good ears in hip hop. Which blows my mind now because it's like there's so many people that don't have it. And
it's really good
you
ears.
Listen to you're listening for the accuracy of the beat rather than the substance of the person behind it.
It's you're looking for the accuracy of the beat. You're looking can the person that is about to touch this track, can they work with this beat? Like Anderson was doing an interview about Dre. And he was like, "Bro, I bumped heads with Dre in the studio, man, because he's a perfectionist. He doesn't. He is a
gotta be a crazy guy to bump heads with, man.
Perfectionist. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And he's like, and then Anderson's like, you know me, I ain't shit. Like I got Dr. Dre in front of me.
Yeah, right.
And they made Oxnard, which was oh my god, Oxnard was a beautiful.
You played that.
album.
You played that for me in the car.
Oxnard was and they
on
made
the way from I'm going home from the spring.
They made that album, and he was like, I bumped heads with Dre because I thought that this would sound good, not realizing Dre said, I don't give a fuck about good.
Yeah.
I need something that's going to step and be different than everybody else.
Right.
You can be good all you want, bitch. I don't care. I need different.
I need to pave the way.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's what I always respected about his stuff is that like he's very aware of the fact that he's not a rapper.
No.
He's a beat maker.
If he raps, he does it because he wants to.
Right. He's got a great ear. But he's somebody else writes for him.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think DOC wrote for
well, no,
him
even
quite
so.
a bit.
Dio. The thing with NWA is that they wrote for each other all the time.
Yeah.
And Cube, and
no,
Cube
I'm saying
was,
like
Cube
solo stuff, like Next Episode and like Nothing But a G thing. I think when they were doing the like him and the him and Snoop
I wouldn't
duos.
be surprised. Yeah,
I think they were either writing for each other,
because Dre had Dre was behind the thing, but also Dre had and that's one of the things. Interesting enough, just touching on it now, is that there was such a different sound.
Yeah.
With everybody.
Yeah.
Like hip hop had such a different sound, and that's why it's tough for me to get into new hip hop is because it doesn't have a different sound.
Well,
like you know who Kendrick is, you know who certain people are, but everything sounds the fucking same.
So I've said this before like 100 times, but what I find insane about the hip hop day now, and I was talking to my buddy about this who lives in New York, and he loves hip hop. He's a big Kendrick Lamar fan. He likes I'm gonna fuck this up. I'm thinking Chance the Rapper. I think he's a big guy. He likes that stuff. But he's up there in New York, and I was talking to him about hip hop and what it is now, and I was like, man, we are in such a fucking horrible time for hip hop. And he was like, I would agree. I would argue the other side.
Yeah,
of
no,
he was
I
like,
think both.
He was like, I would argue that we're in a new golden age for it because there's so many good people that are coming out, like young kids that are bringing it. But the problem is, The stuff that's good, you have to look for, and that's fucked up.
It's the good will come back.
Yeah,
it's just,
in the sense of what's good right now is not what's on the radio.
No, not at all.
But we live in a time where it's the most accessible music has ever been, and we still fuck around with the same garbage that's on the radio.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, like I agree, it's such a golden age in music, and I wouldn't say it's a golden age in hip hop as much as a golden age in music, because hip hop itself, and to the points of new artists are coming out, but I also believe that hip hop is such a beautiful option and a beautiful influence for storytelling.
Yeah, it is.
And the new artists
when you do it right, yeah,
the new artists that come out, they're not, and maybe it just could be hip hop I like, but they're not telling stories. They're not untalented, but they're not necessarily getting on there to.
They're being told what to say, like, hey, here's the points you got to hit on at this beats per minute.
So the crowds you're going to be going toward, they like this type of music. So right. I need you to go this way. This will make me money, And I feel like, granted, money's the motive, but back then it was like I need to tell my story.
Yeah,
and that's where I see the difference.
Well, that's why I mean any type of music, the honesty is such a major part of it. And like in the beginning of hip hop, it was so honest. People are like, this is inciting riots. Yeah. I'm like, this is what they see.
I got smacked to the floor by a cop. Yeah, like, there's a reason I said fuck the police.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want me to sing about? I'm okay, great. I'm a big old school country fan too. I love hip hop and I love old school country. I'll listen. Yeah, I'll listen to a lot of different styles of music. And the people that I hang out with sometimes, not really my friends, but like I've overheard this at like a bar where like I can't. Where they just say overtly racist things about hip hop, and I'm like, dude, you don't understand. Like, this is what they do.
This is the reality.
This is their driving a truck on a dirt road.
I'm on a tractor. And I'm drinking my beer.
It's just they're in a more volatile situation than you not having another house around you for a mile and a half. Okay, like it's different. It's different.
It's my and I think that's where the people get very close minded. Is they say bitch, they say this. Well, yeah they do, of course, but it's also that's how the communication.
I'm not calling you a bitch.
I only call them bitches because I don't know their names individually.
Yeah, and meanwhile, right. Is that Cat Williams?
Of course. It is. But no, that's what it is.
That's funny. I love that quote. Cat's a fucking savage. So, but what I was saying is like when you go through this whole revolving door of hip hop, it gets so bad. Like, okay, so this is a comparison that I always thought about this, and I don't want to make this too political, but I think it's important to discuss the differences. When Kanye was great, when he was great,
pause really quick.
Okay.
I will say this, and I will say this in confidence, and you can look at me crazy. Kanye's a genius.
He is.
Hold on.
Oh, 100%.
He was, and he's still.
But he's insane. But he's a genius.
He's a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
He is batshit crazy, but he's a genius. And I can't agree with. I don't agree with about 80% of the shit that comes out of his mouth.
Did you hear the Rogan episode?
But no.
With Kanye?
No. Oh yeah, he did a Joe Rogan episode.
Dude. It's a nightmare. It came right before Halloween, just
great.
in time.
Holy
fuck!
No, but I think I don't agree.
It took me 3 days to get through, and I'm like, this guy.
I don't agree with.
He's saying smart words, but they're not making sense.
It's that like he's genuinely trying to pave a new way. He's trying to do it different, but I just can't agree with what you're saying. But I respect the idea that you're really trying to be the difference maker. Yeah. I just can't necessarily agree with the path you're taking to get there.
No, he's Kyrie Irving is becoming like him a little bit.
Oh my God,
like
when he was burning sage, bro, what the fuck is that?
He's like
he was like this on the side.
What are you doing? Dude,
PCP,
when Charles Barkley says I don't know what you're trying to say. There's something wrong with it.
Kyrie Irving, burning sage.
He's just an idiot. Yeah. It's like, Jesus. If Chuck is your gauge of like, hey, you're saying some wild shit, like that's crazy. So, okay, sorry. Going back to what we were saying.
Yeah, my bad.
When Kanye was great, Okay, when Kanye was great, like College Dropout, Graduation.
I bought College Dropout when it came out for the first time, and my mom did not realize that it was explicit lyrics. Neither did I, because I only heard Jesus Walks on the radio.
Yes.
Yeah.
My dad was like, yeah. Yeah. My dad was like, hey, this isn't that bad of a song. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that was interesting when you played in the car the first time. And,
yeah.
And your face is like this.
Yeah.
And my mom is like,
here we go.
But I'm like, I didn't know, I swear to God.
This is a church song.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Amen, brother.
So,
amen.
Amen. So when he was great, there was a Republican president. And when Barry O came into office, for 8 years, hip hop was dog shit. Horrible. Dude, horrible.
That bad?
It wasn't horrible, but I'm saying it got lazy. It got lazier because they're like, our dude's here. We got nothing to fight against anymore.
I've been waiting for my boy to come through.
And then when Big Daddy Don, when he came in there, hip hop got great again.
Donald.
Well, make hip hop great again.
That's what that. No,
what I mean?
The MAGA hat was make hip hop great again. He just fucked up the words a little bit.
Make Kanye 2006 again. Yeah. But I always see that parallel where I'm like, it got better because they're fighting against the shit. Like there's rock and roll bands too. Like when Rage Against the Machine was out in the 90s and they had all these like right winger fans, and it was like, okay, what do you think the machine is?
Well, people don't realize that what made hip hop
talking about your guy.
What made hip hop so amazing was that combativeness. Like when you had Nas going against Jay-Z out in the East, you had West against a full West Coast against East Coast, and nobody even knew what the fuck it was over. They were just like, I live in the East Coast, I'm gonna be mad at you.
Right. But I'm mad at you because I don't live there.
But that's what made it great though, because it gave those people so much to go after. When you had 50 in game going at it, fucking dropping 300, 600, 900 bars, just fucking with people, bro.
Do you think there's ever gonna be anything like that again?
I think
like a big beef.
They have because
they do this shit where it's like, all right,
it's
man,
pussy
come
beef.
on.
It's pussy beef.
It's like, who cares? Like, who cares that
the only way it's going to be?
Who cares?
You have to have a really influential artist. But what I've noticed too is that
the last one that I really remember is 50 and Kanye. Like
50
the
and Kanye
big
wasn't.
One
It wasn't even beef.
And that was
50
just
doesn't
like
know how to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He got on stage and he was like, "Oh, your album is going to be the same day as mine.
Yeah.
If you outsell me, I'll stop rapping." And then I think Kanye did outsell him.
Oh, by a lot.
Kanye, and then 50 still dropped albums. So I don't understand what the fuck the purpose of that was.
By a lot.
Oh, I'm happy he did.
I like how they used the same line against each other though.
Of course.
Go ahead, switch your style up.
Yeah,
or whatever.
go ahead, And that's the thing that makes it interesting is when you have that type of that type of aggression to go back and forth with somebody. That's what brings the best out of an artist.
Yes, it's a competitive thing, and that's what I love about these groups and these like records like this that have people on it that are collectively using their individual talents and their role to bring
what happens to
a good song.
What happens to that? Like, think about it.
Well, J. Cole, I know, is like notorious for like, I'm not featuring anybody on my fucking records.
but like,
I'll do it my damn self.
Think about not even features, but think about how many records we used to have where 5 artists would come together and touch a track, and the thing is, you got people would just stand like this. Like just looking at and now granted it was DJ Khaled, but look at We Taking Over.
Oh my God, it was wild.
That's what I'm saying. It was
the Young Jeezy stuff.
It was just some of the best artists, and they said you have one verse. Everybody on the song has one verse. Turn up.
What happened to Trick Daddy? What happened to this guy?
He got fat.
Is he still doing anything?
Yeah, I mean, he's Miami. That's
he is Miami, right?
Yeah, Trick Daddy's Miami. Yeah.
So I always like what's the Let's Go? Right,
bro. Let's Go was lit. I was just, you know what's crazy?
My sister asked me about that song, and I was like, I don't think they have it in the
office the other day. I was in the office the other day with a whole bunch of my staff, and I have some young staff and shit like that. And we were talking about Trick Daddy, and I made a comment, Trick little kids, and they were like, huh? And I was like, please don't do this to me. Fuck you, real shit. Don't do this to me. And I played Let's Go, and then they were like, I don't know who Trick Daddy is, and I was, Trick Daddy is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I played Let's Go, and they were like, oh, I didn't know that's who that was, and I was like,
I don't know why that just popped in my head, but I'm like, man, he's one of the only ones that was in that like circle.
Yeah,
that
he was in because Trick Daddy was Miami. That's why. And you had Khaled was Miami, and I don't know if Khaled is Miami, but they were always down south.
There was another guy. Maybe I don't know if it was Trick Daddy. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Who are you thinking about?
I can't remember. I'll think of it when we get off mic. But there's another guy that was in that realm of like, the Khaled mob.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't even the Cali mob, because even look at there was a whole bunch of other albums that were doing the same thing, just remixes and things like that. What happened to remixes? Like you had remix on remix on remix on remix. The Touch It remix, touch it, bring it back, watch it. Bro, they hit that remix. Like, bro, that was gas though. I was in the car. Bro, that was the gas.
Speaking of remixes, has anybody ever heard the initial Ignition and not the remix?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Hot and fresh. Is it too soon for that? By the way, is
you.
it too soon for the R. Kelly situation? I didn't do this, man.
That's stupid,
bro. My mind's telling me no. I'm telling you, after I watched that fucking documentary, I listened to fucking R. Kelly songs, and I was like, ooh. Oh, bitch! You've been telling us,
baby.
You've been communicating this to us the whole time.
Writing is on the wall.
We have just been so ignorant to it because we've been like, oh, he must be talking about somebody his age.
He's talking about the bitch that's in his fucking basement right now. Like, help! If you listen closely to Remix to the Ignition, you can hear somebody crying for help.
If you play it backwards, you can actually hear the bitch in the background.
You can hear the chains just like help. It's like, all right,
hey, shut the fuck up.
We gotta do a new take. I think she got loose.
Shit. Oh fuck, she got in the background. I imagine how he was during Corona. He was probably doing like video messages with the fucking bitch walking in the background with chains on.
FaceTime me so I know you're still in that room.
No, he's over there. You guys didn't see anything.
He's wild. He is.
I mean, but the thing is, if you really watch documentary, he's been fucked up for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean,
no, I'm not excusing it. No. Let me say something. I'm not excusing it, but I'm just saying
Are you an R. Kelly apologist?
Let me
guess. Well, you love Cosby too.
I don't see nothing wrong.
Yeah. If you take 30 away, he's still raped 3 dozen women,
and with 8 hours of sleep, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god.
Okay,
God.
listen.
All right,
they got something. They got something out of the night. I don't understand what the issue.
For sure, getting fucking canceled after this,
bro. 100%. Me too. It's all good.
100%.
I do as well.
This is going to be problematic. All right, continue. I'm sorry,
but that's what. But it's okay. You gotta have a good laugh in there now and then.
So let me ask you this before we do a quick switch and then deep dive into this. Who do you think fucked more, Freddie Mercury or Eazy-E? Both died of AIDS. Who do you think?
Nah, Eazy-E was in them draws, bro.
You think?
Eazy-E was in. Eazy-E acknowledged
Freddie
the dangers.
Freddie was doing both.
But Eazy acknowledged the dangers of unsafe sex.
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, no. Here's the reality. I apologize. His agent acknowledged the dangers of unsafe sex. He probably said, "Fuck, I should have worn a condom."
And yeah, right.
He probably said that.
Yeah, Eazy-E. Yes. Are we going to use protection today?
No.
No.
No. We. And the thing is, I have no idea. But all I know is I'd love to be a fly on the wall just to see what was going on in the house party.
I think it was probably easy, to be honest with you.
Have you heard my automobile, bro? You don't have to front on me, bitch. It's only a dick.
Oh my god.
I mean, but that was a life, though.
Yeah.
You would have been doing the same shit.
I wouldn't be. Hell no. You keep your mouth shut. Don't Halpert into the camera.
So we're just gonna lie to the camera now. We're gonna lie to the camera.
Jim Halpert.
We're gonna lie to the camera.
This is what I said. This is why I said from the moment I was fucking terrified about this.
But you brought this up. You brought up.
I didn't bring it up. I brought it up with 2 other people.
I know, but you would. I was simply informing the fact that you can't blame them. You would have done the same shit. You've been waist deep in them draws. I have no idea what you're talking about. Absolutely, this is a musician right here. Okay.
No, it doesn't work like that.
It works exactly like that.
I had a guy tell me one time. I had a guy who was like. He came up and tipped me. He was like, "Man, I bet it's crazy, but you get all the ladies." I was like, "Doesn't really work like that." Actually,
well, I mean, in this situation,
100% ladies don't like the shit that I do.
No, the ladies love the shit.
They listen to me and go, "Why is it so sad, though?"
Oh no, bro, they say, "Oh my god, it's so sad."
No, they don't.
And then they ask you if you got your text after.
You're done. You're
Why
done.
am
now.
I done? No,
you're done.
We're
turning the fucking cameras off.
No, we
You're
can't
done.
turn it off. You
is it.
You would have to stand up.
You have to stop this.
I didn't do anything yet. I didn't do anything yet. Nothing has officially happened.
Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. I'm just so.
That's okay.
All right, I knew this.
You drank a lot yesterday, so if you have to throw up,
idea.
that's your fault.
Yeah, I'm tequila. Every fucking time.
Oh my God. Like I said, I woke up at 7:30 and I was like, am I drunk? I am. I'm going back to bed.
Yeah. Am I drunk? Sit up real quick and be like, okay.
I am.
That's what my brother tells me. He's like, if I ever have a headache when I wake up, or if I ever drink the night before, I just sit up. If my head hurts, I lay my head back down. I go back to fucking sleep.
No, I am still
He's like, all right. He's like, I don't get up until my head stops hurting. That has been a big thing for me too. When I drink now, it's the lack of sleep that really causes the hangover.
Really?
Yes.
See,
because I can, dude. If I drink and then I sleep a good amount in the night, I wake up and I'm like, I'm good. But if I have to get up early, I'm like, fuck.
I got Pedialyte in the cabinet waiting for me.
Yeah, that's true. Probably mainlining that shit.
Oh, bro, I got that bitch right in the IV.
I never drank Pedialyte, I don't think, when we were living together.
I never knew it was a thing.
I didn't even know.
I didn't know it was a thing.
I thought it was for kids.
Oh, no, it is for children.
Yeah.
It is for children.
No, I thought that only kids used it, though. I didn't know adults even used it for that.
No, those are called degenerates. That's what those are called, okay? In case you're wondering, if you keep Pedialyte in your fridge, I just want you to be aware of something. You're a degenerate. It's okay. I still love you. I keep it in my fridge, but I accept my part in life.
So, okay. Before we dive into the album a little bit more, I wanted to tell a little backstory on us. So when we lived together, I remember I've told this on here before on the first episode that we had with the episode with Alfonso. You and I went out to scope out an open mic.
At the wrong open mic.
At the wrong place. So James is not a musician, but he grew up. Well, not grew up, but he lived in the house with me, listening to me play. And
I never heard. No, I heard you play. I never heard you sing.
Okay.
But I heard him play, and I'd hear him play in his room, and then he'd come in the living room and play.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about doing an open mic.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
so
no question.
It was you, Nick, and this kid. I think his name was Robert. He was in my Spanish class that I flunked out of.
I remember when Nicky was there.
It was August. It was August of 2014, August of 2014, and we were supposed to go to this place called the Funky Biscuit and scope out the room.
Which is like, it's in Meisner. It's the Funky Biscuits in Meisner. Yeah.
And then we ended up going to the wrong place, which was the Funky Buddha.
Yeah.
And the Funky Buddha had an open mic that night. What I was going to do is go to a place and talk to a manager about the open mic, and then come back another time. My guitar was stupidly always in my guitar, in my car. Guitar was always. Oh no,
we made sure. No. We were very. I made sure you brought your guitar.
I went out there thinking that I was in a different spot, but I was practicing songs. I was like, just in case, something happened, maybe I can go up that night. But I wasn't planning on doing it.
No, you weren't, and you should have. I'm telling you, the funniest shit. You should have seen you pacing back and forth, like just. He paced back and forth, dude, just to walk in, and then after he got in, he sat down, and then he's like, "No, I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to watch. I'm just going to watch. I was like, bro, it is right there.
I was slamming beers, slamming.
And all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, he gets up, and then he comes back.
No,
to the table.
You told me to. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do it.
No, I'm saying you went up and talked to him, and you came back to the table. You're like, I'm going to go get my guitar, and I was like, just fucking go.
Yeah, but I remember you telling me, you were like, don't.
Yeah, you're going to regret
it. You were like, do it. And just, whatever.
Ain't none of these motherfuckers ever going to see you again a day in their life.
Right.
Go up there and live your best life.
In some of my oldest YouTube videos, the stuff I still send to managers, you can hear your voice in the background going, I never heard him sing until last night. You can hear.
Oh, when I recorded you, yes.
When Annie did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the Causey family. Annie, Tully, turn up. Love you guys. She videotaped me, and I still send those things. And you can hear your voice in the background saying like, I didn't know what to do, because you were saying like, if this guy couldn't sing, I didn't want to be.
I was in such. You have to understand. I'm too honest. I was in such a tough subject because I was encouraging him, because I'm a firm believer you have to do what you love to do. So I'm encouraging you to get up there. But in the back of my head, I'm like, if he's fucking trash, like. If he comes back to the table and says, "Was I good?" I'm not going to be able to say yes. I don't know. And then he started singing. I was like, "Oh shit! Okay." Yeah. This motherfucker knows how to sing.
I sang Lifeline by Citizen Cope. That was the first song. And then I remember that first clap, I was like, I'm in. I was like, I'm hooked. It's like a fucking drug, dude. It's a drug. When like people are when you get to perform and like you get to tell a little bit about you, and Trey, the drummer there, was the fucking best drummer I've ever.
Joshy.
He's the best, dude.
Yeah, his own theme song.
Such a nice guy. That dude is like, an insane talent
And
on the drums.
the jam
just,
sessions y'all would have with what's his name on the guitar?
Kevin.
Oh my God, the
Kevin,
jam.
Kevin Stewart, I think. Yeah,
because he played electric. You were up there with acoustic, and then he was on the drums.
He's a wildly talented guitar. I mean, that guy is so nuts.
And he doesn't even look like
nuts.
He looks like he's making no attempt at life. Like
he has new music out right now. I'm sorry, Kevin. I want to plug you, but I don't want to get the name wrong. So I'll throw it in the description of this so we can get that to you, because he has some really good music that just came out in the quarantine. He's a insane guitar player.
Oh, he's
very talented.
And the thing is, he would just
and they were a house band at a Monday open mic. I was like, what the fuck are you guys
they
doing
were,
here?
They were a house band on an open mic, tearing shit up. And the thing that made it awesome,
people would come in there and be like,
and remember,
wow.
I told you I saw Trey at
Tin Roof.
No, it wasn't Tin Roof. It was Rock Bar.
Rock Bar.
He was playing up there, and I heard his voice, and I was like,
I know that guy.
I was like, I know,
motherfucker.
I know who that guy is. And it made me look pretty cool too.
Did you tell him?
Yeah, I went up there.
You
and
were
said,
like, hey, you remember my friend Josh who used to sing for you?
Yeah. No, it was great because it really made me look cool when you get to walk up there. So I imagine how you feel when you get to walk up there and say hi to the musician.
Yeah,
you feel like you're the shit.
Well, I only do it to people that I know, and I know when I'm not going to get in the way. There's plenty of times where like I'm there and I'll just like wave from a distance, and then that'll be it. But because you don't want to get in the middle of the set.
You can't ruin their feng shui.
But Trey is he's such an approachable dude.
Oh, bro.
Trey is one of the nicest guys, and I remember in the beginning, man, like I'll never forget those times in the beginning where they were so welcoming to me, and I was a kid who had no fucking clue what I was doing.
Because all they said was
no idea.
They said we just want you to play. Like they didn't. I will tell you
come
that open mic was one of the most, from what I've seen so far, just such a beautiful open set, because a lot of people did some weird shit up there. But it gave them diabetes. Orange juice tastes funny to me.
But the other thing too is that it was open for everybody.
Yeah,
so there was a lot of really funny comedians.
There was comedians. There was somebody that went up there to do poetry and fucked up like 12 times. I remember he kept on going back and back, and all I'm thinking in my head was like, "Bro, rest in peace. Just give up. Like you fucked up too many times."
Poetry's tough, man, because like those guys go up there like, "I don't need my notes. I got it." And then starts going like, "Where are my words?" Yeah.
But that's what made it beautiful, is they gave anybody the opportunity to touch a mic, and that was awesome.
Yeah, that was a special place, man. I'm so bummed that they closed it.
I mean, but the thing is that it didn't really. It wasn't going to survive. It didn't make at least compared to the original Funky Buddha, like the Funky Buddha and
because it became Mad Robot. I don't know when, but it was recent.
But you've been to the Funky Buddha in Oakland, right? Or down south in South Florida?
Park?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you've never been to the Funky Buddha down there?
No.
Motherfucker. Okay, next time you come down south, I'm gonna take you to the Funky Buddha.
So right after I went to that open mic, though, I realized that they started selling Funky Buddha shit. Everywhere.
No. But you don't realize. So that's what so you don't understand it then. So the Funky Buddha, when you go to down south, like to the actual their factory.
Oh yeah.
Bro, it's fucking huge.
I've not been to that, but I know about it.
So they have the maple bacon coffee porter.
Yes.
So when they release that,
yes.
And I always go every year. They do. Last year they didn't do it, but they did release the maple bacon coffee porter. But they have like fucking 90 vendors that have, and you can pay for it. And you get unlimited beer that you can drink, and you get to try all the beers that are there.
Holy shit.
I was fucked. And they have food
it's
trucks.
Only a 2-ounce pour. What?
Oh my god.
Like 11 later. Yeah.
No, it's like, and then so and they have fucking delicious. They have a whole entire like guide, and it breaks down. I don't know shit about beer.
What is it? 4 ounce,
5
5
ounce,
ounce?
Yeah. And I don't know shit about beer, so I'm looking at this thing. Oh, that one's fruity. Let me go try it.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
Right.
But it was a great fucking time. I'll take you down there because they have really good, like when you were talking about the chocolate porter.
Yes.
They have a
shout out Troubled Waters.
They have a peanut butter and chocolate.
Carter's peanut porter, best beer around, man. That's my favorite fucking beer of all time.
I had that strawberry beer. It was banging.
Oh, last night at 11?
Yeah, it may give me a slight vagina, but the strawberry beer was awesome.
Yeah, another shout out 11 Brewing, man.
Bro, it was delicious.
Hell yeah, they do some good
but
shit over there too,
they do some really good fucking beers.
Going there today, actually, I think. I hope
they opened the back, and I got a tour because I knew somebody that worked there, just to be not in depth, but kind of see the machines.
Wild to go back there and see that. Yeah. I'm blown away by.
I went to a brewery in Tampa, in downtown
stuff.
Tampa. When I had came to downtown Tampa for a work event,
and didn't fucking tell me about it. Been here for how long?
I went there for one night, and I didn't do anything. But we did go to a brewery.
This is unacceptable.
Is this unacceptable? Is this the moment we're at right now? I'm here right now.
We're cutting the cameras.
We're cutting the cameras?
Good night, everyone. I was kidding. Good night. That's for you. You know who. I don't know who it is.
No, anybody could take a middle finger. I'm always willing to give them out.
So, okay, so we love to drink, obviously. You taught me how to drink.
I taught you how to drink?
In a more practical sense.
No, I think I taught you how to not die.
No, what you taught me to do was how much can I drink for the lowest amount of money?
Oh, no, that
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh
Economically,
God,
you taught me the economics of drinking because both of us around that time were very broke.
Dirt broke.
I'm still broke now.
Oh, I am too.
But like I remember like when I would only take you to places where I'm like, okay, I got a tab here, we can do this. Then like we would leave 10 drinks deep each. We'd be like, all right, your tab's $8. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
we would go shit faced annihilated, and between both of us somehow spend like $6.
I remember one time we were at a bar. I don't know if you were with me for this. I drank like a $60 bar tab at the time. Now, not that bad. Like I won't panic over that. But 21-year-old me when I was making I was making $40 playing music one time a week. I saw that tab go through, and I looked at the bartender, and I was like, if I run my card, this is not going to go through. For a $60 tab, she was like...
You spent $60 at Rockin' Angels?
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's...
Why do you think?
You shouldn't have said that.
Wasn't me. It wasn't just for me. Yeah. I was buying shots.
Shots?
Tequila shots.
Shots?
We'll do one after this.
Bitches love tequila.
It's early in the morning. We're taping early in the morning so you can see the grogginess and the imperfections that
I'll take
are
a tequila shot right
highlighted
now.
No. We're not doing that.
I'm just saying, we're
That's
always
insane.
welcome.
So I told her that I was like, this card is not going to go through. 100%.
What'd you say?
She was like, well, you work here, right? And I was like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes, okay. So she gave me half off my tab. And I was like,
oh, I remember that. No, I remember that. No,
Jesus.
I was there because you came from the bar and you're like, I just spent half. And I was like, how? And you're like, she basically gave me a discount because I worked here.
And the crazy shit about us growing up together, the other thing I say all the time to people, and this is not me bragging, being like, "Oh, we used to get wasted." Like,
oh no.
This is not me bragging. This was a shitty lifestyle.
It was never a clean wasted either. In case you guys were wondering,
no,
it was cheap wasted and horrible hangovers.
Yeah, it's like, why does my head hurt? Because you're drinking jet fuel.
Because we're drinking $2 Tuesdays on well drinks.
You're drinking hand sanitizer that they flavored. Okay, like it's horrible. So,
and we did it again.
Yeah, did it again. I'm not fucking leaving. Yeah. Yeah, so all the time. So, what was I just saying?
We're talking about the horrible hangovers.
Yeah, okay. So, no, that wasn't it. I'm lost now.
It was.
I'm so good, dude. This is what happens when I get fucking tequila.
About horrible hangovers. We talked about the fact that we couldn't wake up in the morning. We drink for cheap.
I know what we're talking about. So, I'm not saying this to brag, but like the recentness of Uber.
Oh my god.
It's not fair. I mean, baffling.
It's not fair.
I took my first Uber in 2015.
I took a taxi.
I turned 21 in 2014. So do the math.
I took a taxi from Fort Lauderdale.
For a year, I didn't have a way to get home.
I took a taxi from Fort Lauderdale. It was $72.
Oh, yeah, I did it too.
I was so mad. Uber. I love Uber. I was not calling a fucking taxi. You need to know, if you were born after a certain time, you can't use Uber.
Nope.
You need to learn how to experience walking your left and right foot somewhere.
It was insane. It was insane.
Shit's
I should have.
The amount of times that we should have Ubered or we should have done something else. And
so many times.
We drew straws and hoped for the best.
So many times, and it's so stupid to go back and think about it. Now you're like, you fucking idiot.
Absolute moron. Absolute moron. But we got home.
We did.
Every time. Amen.
We made it.
High five.
Couple of pretty big speed bumps on the way home, though. I don't know.
My
God. We might have done something. I don't know.
We hit some big.
We didn't look back to see.
No, we didn't hope for the best.
It's a little blood. It'll wash off. So, when we lived together, you used to come out to the open mics with me. I remember. We had a very we had an interesting relationship in the sense that like both of us were. I was always out of the house drinking, and God knows what, and you were always working.
Oh, like a Mexican, bro.
Yeah.
I say that out of respect, in case anyone's wondering.
Right? Yeah. Wow, she's in there. So we were living together for a year, and I have to say, I think the most the most important friendship I had at the time, I think, was yours, because, and this is why, because you were one of the realest people that I know, and in the sense that like you have never been afraid to tell me that I'm being fucking stupid. Oh, whereas there's plenty of people down there that were like, "Oh, it's fine, it's fine," and then all of a sudden I'm like, "Apparently not," because now I'm hearing you talking mad shit.
Oh, but
so you would just do it to my face and it'd be done in a second.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm uncomfortable with this, but actually, I kind of like it.
No,
I like the fact that you're so straight up with
I'm gonna tell you straight up how it is, bro. Whether I'm right or wrong, if I see something, because my thing is, worst comes to worst, you're gonna look at me and say you're a fucking idiot. My bad.
Right.
I wasn't even going in that direction, but
yeah,
this is what it is, bro.
That was, I mean, it was a great. I loved living together. I loved learning about our the different.
Well, I think we also
paths and different stories and everything.
We
like
also
that.
had a very simple understanding, kind of from the rip. Like you were the first person besides my I lived with my grandma for a long time, but like the first roommate, and we didn't have to sit down in the living room and have a conversation. We literally said, "You fuck it up, clean it, don't do anything stupid, and then can I buy a snake?"
Yeah, yeah. Can I buy? Oh my god. That fucking snake, dude.
And then you say
Jasmine goes, "Hey, does he mind the lizards?" I was like, "He has a fucking snake. I'm sure he'll be fine."
But this is the best thing. I ask you, and because I was trying to be polite, I was like, you know what? I've always wanted a snake, but I couldn't get one when I live with my grandma because my grandma's fucking petrified of snakes.
Yeah, you know who else is? Any logical human being.
Well,
if
I
you
asked you permission. You said yes.
Dog, if you're fucking with a snake, there's something up with you.
I fuck with snakes and take shots of tequila. Well, I don't understand what the issue is.
There's something so wrong with you, man. I mean, it's fucking.
And then I walk in
beyond repair.
I walk in with a snake, and he looks at me like, "The fuck is that?" And I was like,
"That's the thing about you."
It was like the next day. It was like the very next day, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I learned. I literally just said, "Can I get a snake?" You said, "Yes." What's the issue?
I learned very early on with you that you can't say something in passing and be like, "I would fucking scream at this person so bad."
Yeah.
James, you want me to do it right now? Like, you can't say that. Like, we have a neighbor that lives across the street who's a fucking asshole who lets her dog off the leash, her little dog.
I'm still ready to go.
I told Jasmine, I was like, you can't mention anything about her to James, because James would be like, "I'll go over there and start yelling at her."
I'm not yelling. I'm just I understand that there's power in confrontation.
Yeah.
And I understand I'm a confrontational person, and I have no problem. I have zero problem addressing a situation, especially if somebody, because you.
Did you ever do that at the bar with us? Did you ever get into like a?
No, all of our tussles we got into at the bar was because
me, probably,
or someone else.
Me being a hothead.
No, like remember we were at ABY. America's Backyard.
Oh yeah. Oh, that drink on me.
But that was that night that we both took home women.
Okay.
That was the only night, ladies and gentlemen. I just want you guys to be aware of that.
We're cutting that out.
We both took home women.
Stop it. Stop. We're cutting this out.
And one of them freaking vacuum cleanered my neck.
Oh man.
Count Dracula.
You look like somebody shot you up with some paintballs.
I woke up the next morning and I was like, God damn, bitch.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
We had to have an emergency situation to cover this shit up.
Cover that baby up. Yeah,
that was real.
It was bad.
But
it was
we were at
really bad.
ABY and somebody threw a drink at you.
Yeah.
And then
for no reason. Just like, hey, here's this tall guy. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Woof, and I like pushed him. I was like, bro, back up. And then he pushed me, and I turned around. I was like, okay, bitch, listen, all right. He's like,
wait, I did? I hit you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was backing you up, and you were just doing your thing, and he pushed me towards you, and I was like, okay, listen, bitch.
I was in a deep rage. I was like,
trying to help you out.
This to me.
I'm trying to help you out because you got to understand if he starts hitting you, then I have to now start hitting you, and it's 2 against 1, and I'm not stopping. I'm just letting you know. So I'm really trying to help this situation.
I've never been in a fight.
Really?
Yeah, never been in a fight.
I have. It's not fun.
Never punched anybody. Never got punched.
I got sucker punched in high school once. It's literally kind of how it is in the movies, like when the boxers like fall to the floor. Like it's literally what it looks like. We had a big situation. I ran over, I kicked somebody, I hit somebody, and somebody crossed me, and I was like this. Wow, that's how that feels. Oh, am I hitting the floor? I am, and then just pow, you hit the floor. You turn into a bitch real quick. When you get sucker punched and you hit the ground, everything just goes away.
Dude, Holden told me a story about he got punched in the mouth. He got sucker punched at a party, and he lost fucking teeth from it. Like,
oh, I would have been very upset if I lost my teeth.
That shit is. I mean, if you're not breaking your hands, you're breaking.
Oh, teeth. That was so. Did I ever tell you New Year's? We got into a fight on the Ave in New Year's.
On the Ave?
Yeah.
Where
we were at Opa's.
Do you have a warrant out for this? Should we be
Not
broadcasting
yet.
this?
I don't think so. At least so. Without mentioning names, we were with our group of degenerates. Mm-hmm. If the group of degenerates watches, holla to the group of degenerates.
They can't hear you. You're not on the microphone.
Okay, I apologize. Holla to the group of degenerates. But yeah, so we were at the bar, and one of my boys gets pushed off of a bar, the table, because we're at Opal Street. We're dancing on top of the tables.
Oh my god!
One of my boys gets pushed off a table, and then
wait, is that a Greek place?
I mean, it's Greek, yes, but there's no like Greek music or anything. It's literally just hip hop music, dancing on top of tables, throwing napkins and drinking. It's great. It is an awesome combination.
Sounds like a fucking nightmare.
And one of my boys gets pushed off, and shit just hit the fan like that. I got to hit somebody in the mouth, which was really cool because like I was drunk, and then I saw one of his boys press forward, and I was like, "Ooh, swing!"
Oh yeah.
After I did that though, the bouncer. Picked me up off of the table.
Oh yeah.
I've never been manhandled like that before. I turned into a bitch real quick. Like all of a sudden, he picked me up and I was like, okay.
I'm so delicate.
I'm a delicate flower. Like this motherfucker lifted me off of the bar, off of the table, and I was like, okay, I'm done. You're manhandling me at this point. I can't do anything.
I've been choked out one time. I was trying to help a guy.
Really? That's interesting.
Well, I tried to bring. You remember I tried to bring that guy outside to Rockin' Angels one time.
Yeah, I remember that.
He put the cigarette on the fucking carpet. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Well,
he's like, "I know Mike." I'm like, "I work for Mike. I know this
Angels,
guy,
bro. It's Rockin'
And
Angels.
then Will is a fucking wild man.
Will's a wild man.
I mean, he's told me some stories, and like I've seen him like.
Well, Will just doesn't care.
He can fight too. Like he knows how to fight. So when shit hits the fan, like he's the guy that was like, he's like, if you let me loose on somebody, I'm going. But I'm gonna stay subdued because I'm not. I don't want to start anything because it's gonna end badly.
No, he's
for
the type
you,
of motherfucker that's
bad.
gonna stand in the back. Like there's a difference between me and Will. Will's gonna stand in the back and just wait, and then he's gonna come out with some full-fledged karate shit, and he's gonna knock
the fucking
everybody out.
Tyson kidney blows and be like, ugh, like and shift your organs and be like, Jesus.
And then there's James. I can't do any of that.
No,
I'm not doing any of that.
Neither can I, man.
I'm gonna grab a bottle off the counter and I'm just gonna hold it like this, and I'm just gonna wait because you got to understand something. One of two things is gonna happen. If you step to me, you're getting smacked with this bottle. If you step to me slowly, I'm cracking it on the edge, and everybody's going to look at me like I'm a madman.
I don't want to say that stereotypes are correct about Puerto Rican people, but the one that I do know, I mean, that is legit.
You got to make a shake out of anything.
The most stereotypical thing I've heard. Be like, watch out, they'll stab you. They'll be like, okay.
Listen, I understand my part in life.
Yeah.
I am. If there's a group of people that come up to our table,
I understand.
And the women look at me and go, "Are you gonna protect us?" Well, bitch, I got one move.
I'll protect myself. Yeah.
I'm gonna crack this bitch open. If they proceed past that, we have to leave.
Yeah, I got pushed by that bouncer at Rockin' Angels. Like a guy, just a fucking meathead from a frat that they hired. I was like, hey, you want to make $50 tonight?
The mere fact that they have a bouncer at Rockin' Angels.
They did because they did a college night, which is why the kids would come in there and just fucking smoke cigarettes and put them out on the carpet inside. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's just humans are douchebags. That's why.
Oh my god!
Especially if you go to FAU, it just doesn't help out at all.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's trash.
It's horrible.
And then you have the Lynn kids that take fucking Adderall and shit like that all night long. They're walking there cracked out.
I knew a guy that went to our high school. He played basketball at Lynn.
Remember the guy that played basketball at the Y that fucking broke the backboard? He played at Lynn.
He broke the backboard.
Yeah, if you're watching this or you happen to see this, good job.
With a dunk or like
he shattered. Ask Mez. He shattered the backboard, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, because
I don't remember.
That's when me, Mez, and Wayne were all playing on the same basketball team, and he fucking cocked that bitch back and I was
it a full shatter, like a shack shatter? It was a crack?
It was a spider.
Oh.
It wasn't a diesel, bro. If he would have dieseled that bad boy, I would have walked.
Pull it down from the roof. Everybody get out! It's caving in.
Shaq's big ass
from the top.
Yeah. Shaq's big ass fucking breaks my gym. Fuck that.
Oh my god. No, I've been in there for a couple wild dunks where it was like,
yeah.
Like 16-year-old kids are dunking in like Y games. So like when Greg would cock those back, and I was like,
I remember when I finally got him to play for me.
These poor kids.
He fucking put it on like a 14-year-old's head.
That's what I'm saying. The age group in there was like 13 to 17.
It was 14.
It was 14
to 17.
Driving themselves to the game.
Oh, 100%.
And then you have kids like that are in like 7th grade.
Bro, you had kids that never have played basketball a day in their life, and then you have kids that fucking paid their rent, shaved their beard, and drove their car there. Big motherfuckers, bigger than me, dunking on bitches. And I remember he caught one of the 14-year-olds in transition, and I remember he cocked that bitch back and dropped him on his ass, and I was like, oh, yeah, Greg, come over here.
Don't do that again.
No, I was like, great job, daps.
Yeah.
But at least go make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
You fucked him up. You
make sure he's okay.
You fucked up his whole entire dreams of ever playing basketball. I just want you to know that.
Kid's bro. Oh, you had a good game. I didn't have a good game. His balls were in my face.
So, honey, how was your time at the Y? Yeah. Well, a large white man's testicle sat on my forehead.
I got a black eye from somebody's dick today.
Just
yeah, that was watching that happen with the wide age gap in that group was like, I mean, anything.
But they made such great games
because there were some 18-year-olds that were playing in there too.
That
They were horrible, but they were just for fun.
Like, that's what made it fun.
If you're playing Y-ball at 18, man,
you got to do better. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you're still no. Well, that's because it's Boca Raton, bro.
It is.
Yeah. No, if you're still at the house at 18 playing YMCA basketball, you have to do better in life.
Oh man. So, all right, we're gonna take a break.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get back into this. We did it again. You know, I bring people in here and we go to talk about an album, but we end up bullshitting about bullshit,
What's
and
wrong
then
with bullshit about bullshit?
It gets
Bullshit
too long.
be
So
about
we're gonna cut this up into 2 parts and make sure that we can really do a deep dive on this and give it
this album deserves
its full
large amount of respect.
Yes,
that's one of the things that I just
give it the respect it deserves. Okay, so we're gonna take a break. This is gonna be our part 1 of the James Rodriguez saga. I'm sure you're gonna be back here telling all kinds of fucking stories. I might not invite you back depending on what you
I have your
say
address.
Next
it doesn't
time.
make a difference.
I know. Yeah,
I officially have your address.
It's
now,
over.
So whether you like it or don't like it, I can show up whenever the fuck I please.
I just hope the gate doesn't open up for you.
Bitch, I drove in last time without calling you.
Yeah, that's true. Fuck you. God damn it. So, all right, guys, remember to follow us, Scratch Track Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and the Scratch Track Pod, the Scratch Track Pod at Gmail for emailing us and guest us. Send us some lists of guests and albums and stuff that you guys want us to have on and cover. And we'll see you for part 2 next time. Bye.